Welcome to week 3. This week we're going to shift from biology to geology, and we're going to talk a little bit about the age of the Earth. And part of my prompt for this week's discussion is what role does the age of the Earth play in the creation-evolution debate, and why is it so important? And just give you kind of like a little snapshot of why it's so important. If you're a scientific creationist, or especially a young Earth creationist, someone who is taking a literal historical hermeneutic, which is a fancy word for interpretation of the Bible. In other words, they literally believe the Bible is saying the world was created in 6 days, and the way they get the date of roughly a 6,000-year-old world is by counting genealogies. We're told that Adam was 120 years old when Seth was born, and so you can count from there, and we have genealogies from Adam all the way to Christ, and we know Christ lived roughly 2,000 years ago, and so that's how you get the date of approximately 6,000-year-old Earth and young Earth creationist circles. And a side note, if you look at the Orthodox Jewish calendar, I believe the year is 5,774, which is very interesting. And once again, they are starting their calendar at the first day of creation. So they're taking a very similar literal approach, and which gives you a very young Earth. Now this becomes incredibly problematic when you look at the timelines involved in Darwinian evolution and how long it would take from one species to evolve into another if that sort of adaptation and evolving is possible. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years to create significant changes. Even in more rapid type theories like punctuated equilibrium, where you have rapid changes, it's more of kind of like a stair-step approach to evolution rather than a slow, steady rate of change from simple to complex. In punctuated equilibrium, you have stasis, or where things stay the same for long periods of time, and then you have rapid change and development. Rapid in these evolutionary models could be hundreds of thousands or 1 million years. But remember, if you're talking about over 3 billion years of evolution, 100,000 years is really not that much time in comparison. So this debate over the age of the Earth, it's kind of like a deal breaker. For at least many people would see it that way. If the Genesis account is true, and we really have only been here 6,000 years or less, there is physically no time for evolution to take place. So evolution would be a done deal as a theory. On the other hand, if the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and if the universe is over 14 billion years old, that would create huge problems for the integrity of the Bible. Now, the way many Christians try to get around this is they do not take a literal historical approach to Genesis, but they do more of an allegorical approach, or they believe there was a gap between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2. And I can provide links to videos for those if you're interested in, where I talk about different interpretations of Genesis 1 through 11. So this becomes a crucial issue. And for the most part, the scientific creationists are actually using the Bible as their timeline, although there are some other methods that they believe give us a relatively young age for the Earth. Whereas in Darwinian evolution and naturalistic geology, the Earth is being dated by two primary means. For organic things that were once living, you can use carbon-14 dating, and in this week's literature we're going to go into detail on how that works and what the half-life of carbon-14 is and how that can give us dating techniques. And then the next is radiometric or radioisotope dating, which can be used for igneous rock. And igneous rock, if you remember from geology, is volcanic type rock. So these are two of the dating techniques that are used to try to get a range of how old things are in the world. And so we're going to look at these things, look at how they play out in the discussion, and you can judge for yourself which theory you think gives the best explanation and why. So I'm looking forward to your comments this week, and how the age of the Earth plays in, and how can we possibly know how old the Earth is, especially when we haven't been able to be there to observe it over these eons of time, or millennia of time, depending on what your worldview is. Thank you.